Undrafted free agents, the unsung heroes, the hidden gems. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. It is Mr. Cowboys fan. Before we proceed into this video, of course, leave a like and subscribe. It is I, Mr. Cowboys fan, where we talk about cowboy things. So let's go over some of the Dallas Cowboys UDFAs. More importantly, I went over, like all the undrafted free agents that we signed, but I saw really only these three that caught my eye. So let me give you Breyvyn Spanford, tight end out of Minnesota. Crooms, who also actually played for Minnesota. And also running back Nathaniel Peat out of Missouri. Mizzou! Either way, yeah, so let's go over these three UDFAs that we got. So I watched tight end Breyvyn Spanford, and my first look at him was, okay, so he's a, light-skinned version of Dalton Schultz. From what I was seeing, he looked like someone who can run like a good, hitch route or whatever, catch it and move the chains. But then I went into more of the highlights, and oh no, he is not Dalton Schultz at all. I'm seeing this dude hurdling guys. One play in particular, he hurdled a guy and then got hit in midair, but landed and stayed on his feet and carried a defender with him another 5 to 10 yards. I'm like, this dude is a freaking athlete. He's an athlete, man. So, yeah, he is very good, very great run blocker who is violent, who will put, a dude on his tail if need be. So, I think from what I've seen from Breyvyn Spanford, he can be a really good playmaker, but of course he's, kind of buried on the depth chart, first of all, being undrafted, but also with the fact that there are guys like Luke Schoonmaker, who I think he has a chance to, jump over him. Peyton Hendershot, maybe. And then, of course, Jake Ferguson. And then don't forget John Stevens, however, that I forgot, who, it's going to be tough for him to get over him as well. But either way, now John Stevens is coming off a torn ACL. Let's see how effective he's going to be coming off that injury. Breyvyn Spanford, for the most part, from what I know, he's healthy. But either way, yes, he could be a really good playmaker, really good blocker, but we just have to see where he can fit on this depth chart. Up next, we of course have Crooms. I ain't gonna lie, man. I like Crooms, man. This was my favorite undrafted free agent that I saw us get, because I ain't gonna lie, the dude, he can be a deep threat. He can. I saw his 40 because I'm watching this dude and he can fly. He can fly, man. He can run and, fly to the end zone. But I looked at his 40, right? And it said like a 4.6 or something like that. And I'm thinking, ain't no way. Because I'm watching him on the field and he is blowing by people. Like, for real. Like, I'm thinking this dude runs like a 4.3 or at least a 4.4. But it said he ran a 4.6. I'm thinking, man, whatever. All right, that dude can fly, man. But yeah, he can be a really good deep threat, you know, and he has very good run after catch ability. And a lot of his, highlights and film, he can be really good and run after catch a little curl route, and then he can break a tackle, turn up field, and get himself a big gain. Even if it's not a touchdown, it's a huge gainer because this dude has very good run after catch ability. So Corey Crooms, yeah, I really like him. I really think that he has a great chance of making this team. Now, of course, we thought that Jalen Marino Cropper last year also had a great chance of making the team, and he didn't make the team. But nah, Corey Crooms, all right, that dude definitely, I think, could make the wide receiver depth chart without a doubt. And then there's Nathaniel Peat. Now, Nathaniel Peat ran a 4.3 something 40 from what I remember. And the dude has great breakaway ability when the offensive line, because he didn't run behind a very good offensive line, but trust me, coming here to Dallas, he's going to be running behind a much better offensive line. Because when you see the plays, when the offensive line is actually making their blocks, this dude can break away. And at that point, you just got to hope that you can catch him. Because he is very fast, he's very explosive, and he can break away and bust open a big run. No matter what, the circumstance or how long the distance is. But I think the only reason why I feel like he has a great chance of making the roster, I know he's buried on the roster as of right now, but let's think. There are guys like Connor, that dude Connor, who he's behind, Hunter Lipke, who is a fullback. I don't think he has to worry about wondering if he, has to outbeat him. There's Malik Davis and, of course, Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn, and Ezekiel Elliott. I think he has a good chance of hopping over 3 to 4 of those guys just based off the fact that he is very explosive, a very explosive runner, very fast, who he can take it 80 yards. And and we're kind of missing that right now because we don't really have an explosive back, really. Like a Tony Pollard type explosive back who can take it 75 yards, and Nathaniel Peat can absolutely become that. So that's going to be a reason why he has a chance to make this roster just based off the fact that he can be a good breakaway runner. So Nathaniel Peat out of Mizzou, he got a decent, solid amount of yardage in his time there. He came back for another year just based off the fact that he was trying to, of course, build up his draft stock a little bit, maybe a little bit. And sadly, it didn't do it that well since, of course, he was undrafted. But we picked him up, and of course, I'm rooting for the kid. So, obviously, we didn't draft a running back, but we signed one as an undrafted free agent, and of course, picked up Ezekiel Elliott, which, by the way, later on after I make this video, soon after, I'm going to make my video about the running back room that we currently have right now and how I think that we can use it. So to close out, these were the three that really caught my eye. More importantly, players that I think can be possible, depth players, and maybe even become impact players, because there's always those diamonds in the rough, hidden gems who just happen to take the league by storm. So these were the guys that I saw in particular who I absolutely believe can make the team. Maybe Nathaniel Peat is a little questionable, but I think that he'll make the team just based off the fact that they'll, of course, see his ability as a breakaway runner. So let me know in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel about these players in particular, these UDFAs. And to all my audience, to all of Cowboys Nation, this is Mr. Cowboys fan out.